Hey everybody, it's Austin Ward for Letterman Row here downtown Columbus, and for the first time, it's the first edition, first episode of Betting B1G with Tim Shoemaker. You may know him from his previous week on the Ohio State beat. He's retired from that. You may also know him as one of the most entertaining Cleveland sports fans on Twitter. That's probably how you know him now. He does some other stuff professionally, but that's not our concern. He's also just the greatest game picker in Columbus, and I think very wealthy man, right?
We'll go with that.
Okay, so successful gambler, successful handicapper here. So this is going to be his new role for us all year round, or at least football season-wise. So we're thrilled to have him aboard, and we're just throwing go right into the Wolves here with Week 1. Some big games, Tim. Which one do you want to start with? Which one jumps out as the best game of the weekend?
I think the best game of the weekend, and this is like a absolutely loaded Week 1 slate, which is awesome. But for my money, best game of the weekend is Washington and Auburn, two top 10 teams in Atlanta.
Yep.
And I believe Auburn is they're a 2.5-point favorite, and it's going to be, I think, just an awesome football game to kind of open the season with.
I read today that Washington had it written into the contract that the roof had to be closed. So that Auburn can, because like these neutral site games are great, right? But Auburn should have the home field in terms of fan base. It's a little weird when trying to do Week 1 and who's got that extra 3-point juice on the home field. But I don't know, where did you go here with this game?
I took the points. I feel like the thing with Auburn every year is come into it and they're either like one of the top 5 teams in the country, or they go out and lose 4 games.
Right.
So.
Or both in the same game.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So that's and I think Washington is the class, should be the class of the Pac-12. I shouldn't say that they are, because we don't really know anything right now. Yeah. But I think Washington plus the points, even though it is at a much more Auburn-friendly location, being much closer to Auburn, Alabama than it is to Washington. I like Chris Peterson having a long period of time to get ready for a game. I think he's one of the best coaches in college football, so I will happily take the points there and take the Huskies.
Yeah, that one was tough for me because I always feel like both teams can fall into that same overrated trap. So it's like which preseason hype do I believe more? and I guess right now I think it might be Auburn for me. So that we got a little bit of maybe disagreement early on. I think we're probably going to be on the same page here. Louisville and Alabama, the Crimson Tide coming in. I guess the spread here is around 24.5 or something like that. The only real mystery to me is who plays quarterback for the Crimson Tide.
Right.
But it doesn't matter.
Right.
Either one of them's, for me, going to win.
Yeah, I'm not going to bet against Alabama, so I will gladly lay the points here. I think 24.5 is quite a lot to give up to a team like Louisville, who's had a pretty good run here of late,
right.
But no Lamar Jackson.
It's a big loss.
A little bit. And,
he had a trophy or something.
Yeah, something like that. Nick Saban and Alabama, they just go out and destroy people in Week 1, usually what happens. So I'm rolling with the Tide.
I think we're on the same page there. We got Virginia Tech and Florida State. The Noles are favored by around 7.5 here. I know I've already got a sneak peek of your coverage for this game, so I know you have some deep thoughts on it.
Honestly, Virginia Tech is one of those teams that I don't really know a ton about. I'd probably, if I had to guess, they were going to play pretty good defense and they're going to struggle on offense. Just like they have for the last 100 years.
That's the formula.
Right, yeah. But no, Florida State, they had obviously a pretty awful season last year. Quarterback DeAndre Francois is back. They're playing at home. First game of the Taggart era. There's going to be some extra juice in that stadium. They're 7.5-point favorites at home. I think they're going to cover.
All right, that's an interesting one there. I think Virginia Tech's defense, we've seen them early in the year throw some curveballs at maybe one team that plays not too far from where we are right now. I think the Hokies might be able to cover there, so I'm not picking them outright, but we'll see what happens. Another interesting one, another one that'll have Ohio State fans somewhat interested as well, probably everybody. It stands alone on Sunday night. Miami and LSU, I think the spread there is 3.5. With the Hurricanes, which way are you going there?
I'm actually going... I'm very hesitant to bet on LSU because they're kind of the same kind of thing. I've also never seen a fan base that hates their own team more than LSU fans do. But I don't know.
Force them out for Ryan Ginn.
Right, yeah, exactly. But no, Miami, I thought last year obviously had a really good season under Mark Richt, but I thought they were kind of exposed a little bit at the end and kind of finished with 3 losses. I believe they lost their last 3 games to close out the season. So I think that's kind of who they were. I'm not sure how good they are. I think they're ranked 8th in the country coming in. I think that might be a little much for me. I know LSU has traditionally struggled, offensively at least, but I think Joe Burrow is going to be a nice fit for them. I will take the points and go with LSU here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Tigers as well. Just with Joe Burrow, I said all along that if Ohio State had kept him, or if he hadn't transferred, that he could have been a quarterback that could have won the Big Ten, got them to the college football playoff. So LSU is a different system, but I still believe that same talent is there. And I think it'll at least work this week. I just have a little more faith in them, even though I don't really believe in Coach O. I believe in Joe Burrow. So,
right.
Back to the Big Ten then, and the last 2 games here. We'll always pick Ohio State on this show every single week. We'll try to do as many Big Ten games as we can, as long as they're national games, which fortunately this league has got so good, that's not going to be a problem. But the big one here, the rivals for Ohio State, Michigan and Notre Dame. Great to see them back together. That other subset rivalry for the Wolverines getting back together. We've got a pick'em game there, Tim. So which way are you going with this opener?
Yeah, that's an awesome Week 1 game. And Michigan's schedule is pretty brutal this year.
Absolutely.
And opening up on the road at Notre Dame in Week 1 is no easy task. I think Vegas favors Michigan a little bit. They think they're the better team, obviously, with a true road game and it being a pick'em.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty high on Michigan this year. I think their defense is going to be one of the best in the country. I believe the addition of Shea Patterson is going to make their offense much more formidable than it has been in the past. Will it be great? Remains to be seen, obviously. But I like Michigan in this game. I think they're going to go on the road, and I know that Harbaugh's struggled to win some big games since he's been there, but I really think that they're just coming into the season. I think that they just have much more talent than Notre Dame does. I think they're a better team, and I think that they're going to go on the road and get this one done.
Yeah, I think you're right about the talent of those teams, but I can't get there right now with Jim Harbaugh in the big games. I usually say the same thing about Brian Kelly, so this is a tough one for me. But I'm going to take the home team in that one. We'll see what happens, just for the sake of you and I having different picks, so that we can actually keep track of these records.
There you go.
Here.
Yeah.
And if you get confusing,
it's your money to lose.
If you get confusing gambling advice, I don't know who to blame. But all right, the last one, Tim. We'll get you out of here for Week 1. Oregon State. I think we all know who's going to win this game on Saturday, but the spread and that number is pretty big. So I think it's 37.5. Some places 38. In some places. Maybe even 38.5, 39. I don't know where it's going to wind up on Saturday at noon, but to me, you can't make the line high enough.
That's what I was just going to say. The spread can't be big enough for this game, I don't think. Ohio State is, I believe they're going to play. They're going to try and hang 70.
Yeah, at least
70 on the board. And Oregon State is not a very good football team, despite being Power 5. They're probably actually the worst or one of the worst Power 5 teams in the country. Ohio State playing at home. Finally playing a football game after everything that's gone on. I just don't see how this game's close.
Yeah, sometimes you have these openers and teams come out nervous and sloppy in Week 1, but if anything, I think now Ohio State will be locked in more than they ever would be to play a team that went 1-11 last year, and that is not a good sign for the Beavers. I think I picked this one at like 70-10. It's going to be.
You hate laying 40 points.
You don't want to do it, but in this case,
but I don't feel that bad. Like I don't feel that uncomfortable laying 40 points.
There you go. Tim's comfortable. Hopefully he's comfortable here with Letterman Row. He's giving you those gambling tips for betting B1G. It's our first edition. Going to be here every week, every Friday, trying to get you set for the weekend. So thanks for Tim for joining us. I'm Austin Ward for Letterman Row.